So thank you everyone for joining our Entytle User Conference 2022. We greatly appreciate it. Some quick rules of the road before we get started. If you have any questions that arise during the presentation, feel free to ask, and there will also be a Q&A at the end. You can utilize the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom bar. If you have any issues that arise, you don't see the screen, audio issues, feel free to use the chat icon right next to it. We will also send out the recording of the event afterwards, and we'll also send some additional information by our customer engagement teams through the Entytle application itself. So for the agenda today, we're going to cover the state of the industry, what we're seeing, what we're hearing from you guys, the big picture of Entytle, recent launches that we had throughout this year, and what's coming up in the future for Entytle. So for today's presentation, we're going to have three speakers: our Chief Growth Officer, Rob Bradenham, our product owner, Sushana Taunk, and then one of our customer success managers, Tom Sturdivant. So without further ado, Rob, I will hand it over to you.
Thanks, Aaron, and good to see a bunch of familiar names here today. So we'll start out with kind of big picture, what we're hearing from our customers, what we're seeing in the industry, and then that'll kind of lead into, all right, well, what do we think that means for our customers and their install base, and how they're approaching that, which will then lead into what are the things that we've been working on, and what are the things that we're going to continue to work on. Throughout this, we of course want to get your feedback and input, so definitely use the Q&A as Aaron outlined. So we got a chance to survey a group of executives with our customers on things that they're focused on, and so we were able to gain a little bit of insight into their view on some of the macroeconomic situation, what were their priorities, what are some of the challenges that they're facing, and then what are some of the technology initiatives that they're trying to drive. And so no surprise, supply chain and inflation were both very top of mind from a macro perspective. Personnel shortages, right, continue to be a challenge, so for 88% of the respondents. In terms of priorities, aftermarket was a top priority, and it manifests in service contracts, in parts sales, in trying to be more proactive. And then also, digitizing those customer experiences was a top priority for over half of the group. In terms of execution, lots of people challenges prevalent across our customer base in terms of not having champions for initiatives or capability gaps, or IT capacity, training, too many initiatives. Those two things are probably a self-reinforcing cycle. Too many initiatives leads to capability gaps, and then also establishing clear, easy, sustainable processes. From a technology perspective, CRM and e-commerce were priorities for 3/4 of the group. And then on average, though, we see people trying to implement 2 more systems than even those. And then the last thing was, okay, well, what are people trying to do with their install base, and are they trying to leverage Entytle beyond just using Entytle? And really connecting to the CRM or ERP system was a priority for more than half, but also everybody wanted connections with different systems. So this was kind of one snapshot of customer feedback we've gotten over the past few quarters, but we try and take this and use it to guide where are we going, what are we focused on, how are we best able to serve manufacturers. And so what we also see from a big picture perspective is this business model shift, right, from just selling the equipment to really selling a solution and providing a customer solution on the other end. And so while this transition has been underway for a long time, we see things like data and analytics, IoT, e-commerce accelerating this transition from selling equipment and parts to service contracts to rental models, and then even into risk sharing and subscription models. And I think right now what we see is not just that transition, but also those same macroeconomic challenges that you have highlighted for us, and that are obviously, you know, in the Wall Street Journal every day and all over the news. Inflation, rising interest rates, supply chain issues, and then personnel challenges, both in terms of retirements as well as labor shortages. And so these are impacting not just you, right, the OEMs, the manufacturers, but also your customers, right? And so as your customers' workforces transition, or as their capital costs increase, they're looking for more life cycle solutions from you, whether that be services, subscriptions, aftermarket support instead of new equipment. Both the manufacturers as well as, you know, your customers, we see a big focus on digitizing, using data to streamline workflows, hoping to unlock productivity to combat some of these challenges on the left. Making it easier to onboard new team members, right? The age of having somebody join your organization and then grow with you over 20 or 30 years, it's going to be a smaller percentage of people that do that in the future. And the expectation is probably more like 3 to 5 years. And so how do you bring somebody up to speed faster? How do you make it easier for them to contribute quicker? And then we see lots of investments being made on the technology space, really to kind of deal with all of these. And so, you know, this kind of brings us to, from a big picture, how do we help on this, right? And it really comes down to, you know, we see that the value of your install base is the value of your business, especially with rising interest rates and rising cost of capital, and increased push from your end users for you to help support them over the life cycle of that equipment. That install base is really the central point of this. And so what does that mean from a big picture perspective? You know, how does Entytle think about this, and where are we focused, right? So, you know, we definitely see the Entytle install base platform as being that operating platform for your install base, which then enables you to organize that data to make all sorts of customer-focused workflows smarter, faster, more efficient, which then enables you to drive A, more customer value, and then B, greater share of wallet, more loyal customers, more repeat purchases, and then greater productivity for scarce resources. And so, you know, how does this translate into, you know, reality, right? So, you know, this is kind of how we often see things, especially, you know, in people that we get started working with, is that there's lots of different systems. They are exchanging data, sending data, you know, to each other. The data is messy. It's not consistent. Lots of silos, you know, non-scalable analysts. And so one of the things that we've started to, you know, coalesce together is really kind of, all right, well, what does best practice look like? And this is really from our conversations with our users that has helped guide this direction in terms of putting that asset, putting the install base at the center of the whiteboard, if you will, right? And thinking about all the different elements of the install base and how that enables different workflows, different systems throughout the organization. And so this, you know, kind of this best practice that we've seen from many of you, we're focused from a product perspective, and Sushana will get into more of the details in terms of how do we make this data regarding the install base easy and accessible, usable for the different workflows that need it. So I'm going to pause here for a second, and I'm going turn it over to my friend Sushana, who's going to go from this high-level macro picture, where are we going big picture, to, okay, what have you asked for? Some things really, really specific, like, hey, I want to filter here, or I need to be able to segment here, or I want a feature here. Other things, kind of bigger picture. And so we'll talk about what we've recently delivered and kind of walk through some of those. And then, hey, where are we going next? What are the next things on our list? Sushana?
Thank you, Rob. Just going to share my screen now. All right. So good afternoon, good evening to everybody joining us from across the world. I'm Sushana, and let me just begin with what our research says is important to OEMs today. We're looking at a lot of themes in the world, and these are the themes that we've recognized most resonate with our customer needs. Data quality, one of the most important desires for any installed base today. Giving clean quality installed base being the core of an installed base platform, and Entyle is committed to it. We see that our customers seek powerful analytics and be able to get great value of the data from there. You're in need of or seek simplified configurable user experiences. In terms of integrations, we're looking at integrations that are enabling sharing between systems and tools that are in use today, as well as the ability to scale and automate those workflows today. So getting into what we've already delivered around these themes, first and foremost, being the core of an installed base, clean data quality is something we're committed to, and we continue to make investments in the technology and AI space to make it better for you. In fact, we've already helped some of our customers with custom data quality work. In terms of powerful analytics, Customer Loyalty Manager is one of the offerings that we've made available a couple of quarters ago. It's already in the hands of our customers. With CLM, you're able to identify your at-risk customers, be able to re-engage with them, and thereby even prevent customer churn. A couple quarters ago, we brought to you the install base in your pocket. The Entytle mobile application that has been in your hands and pockets for a while now gives you easy access to the customer data, ability to quickly call your customers, all that you need, where you're just sitting down and you won't even need to open your laptop or computers. You can plan your trips. You can get directions to customer locations via the map integrations that we offer, and a lot more. Besides that, a lot of user experience enhancements that some of our customers have actually requested have been made available in quick turnaround time. Some of them are bringing to you the altogether all new Contact 360. We've brought in quick access to all your contacts, a list with all the associated data along with it. With improvements we've made to location 360s, your opportunity 360s, we've enhanced your search and filtering capabilities. We've brought in a number of enhancements to opportunities as well. In terms of integration and sharing, we've brought better connectivity of CRMs through our open APIs where the capabilities are available to push data from opportunities, accounts, locations, and assets. Our customers are already seeing, in fact, benefits with the email digest enhancements that we've made. So it's coming to you directly in your inboxes. It brings you a summary of all the updates right to you in your inbox without having the need to log into the application to get updates. You have quick access to the application with the links available if you want to look at details. And as always, we're continuing to invest in automation initiatives for data ingestion, as well as revamping our entire architecture to scale for over 100 million records. Now, let me give you a quick sneak peek on Customer Loyalty Manager and how it's been benefiting our customers today. Some of our customers, and this is their words, they didn't really have the time or means to even identify who are the customers that drifted away. And with CLM being made available, they can not only now look at these accounts, but also figure out a way to re-engage with them. In terms of reaching out to these reaching out to needs attention customers, they always wanted to do it, but they didn't know how. And with the availability of CLM, they've been able to do it very easily. Some of our customers say that their sales managers are now using CLM to instill a proactive nature of looking for these customers out there. I'm going to get into a demo real quick, but let me just give you a sneak peek on how our user experience enhancements have been. You've seen all of this there, but let me just bring some of those up. We've been able to add additional filters, whether they are your custom fields. We've been able to add additional filters even to pipelines so that you can filter them, sort them much better. You have more filtering capabilities within the CC360 transaction history. You can search better. In fact, search locally within a CC360. You can search within the equipment tab to easily get access to what you need. With the availability of contacts flat navigation, right there on your left navigation, you can drill down to find your contacts, look at a 360 view along with associated equipment and associated opportunities. With Opportunity 360, we've given the ability to add some more custom fields to your details, ability to add attachments, but let me just stop sharing screen and take you to a demo. All right. Bear with me here. Screen. All right. So you've all seen this, the Entytle application. We're looking at CLM made available to you right in your home screen. And if you see, it is, if you look at the activity index for locations, it's your indicator to depict the level of activity with respect to aftermarket purchases. It reflects the level of engagement in your installed base that each customer has, generated based on regularity index as well as monetary index. We've brought our customers over to 5 separate categories: healthy, above average, average, below average, and needs attention. And as you can see, this is not just a pie chart, but it's an interactive pie chart. So all you have to do is drill down, click on it to drill down to a list view or a filtered view of all these needs attention accounts that you have. Sorry about that. That's the demo space there. Furthermore, if you want to filter some more and maybe look at these needs attention customers against a territory that you're assigned, you can filter down further. You can proceed to actually create a pipeline of it too. So that's around how CLM can be made helpful to you. Let me just quickly show you some things around the enhancements for Opportunity 360s here. Just give me 1 second. Oops. All right, sorry, that's loading. Back to share screen. Sorry about that, it got thrown out there. All right, jumping right into an Opportunity 360. Bunch of exciting things, some of which you all have requested. We've made the availability of custom fields under the opportunity details. If you see, let me just show you how we can edit them as well. So they're not just view only. You could proceed to edit them. Let's say we've added custom fields around what's the follow-up date that you want to look at, an invoice date maybe. Let me just go and change that follow-up date, let's say to 31st here. There you go. You made that change. All you have to do is hit save, and that update will be made. Might take a couple seconds there. All right, and if you want to look at who made that change, and this is not you who've been working on, here's your audit log. There you go. That's me, just made that change right here. Moreover, here's where you could just simply add attachments to an opportunity so that you can come back to it. Earlier, probably you had to go to a respective location that was this opportunities associated with, and then look at attachments. But now you can quickly look at attachments associated with these opportunities. And these respective attachments will also be available with that location. So if you look at this location over here, you could jump right in. Another interesting capability is the ability to not just, you could add new notes, but now you can go and edit new notes, update them as you speak, maybe change them however you wish. All right, so that's some of the updates that we've made I'm going to go back to our deck here to talk to you about our mobile application. 1 second. Right. And while that slide comes up, one of the most asked for features that we've delivered a couple of months ago was the mobile application. And it's seamless. All you need to do is go over to App Store or the Google Play Store on your Android or iOS phones and download it if you've not already. Let me give you our demo for mobile here. So,
Our new mobile app has been based on feedback from you, our customers, usage data, and an analysis of which use cases are going to provide the most value in a mobile environment. So let's jump right in. So first, the map interface should be familiar to existing users of Insights. You can see here we have the map with customer locations. You can also look at where is the equipment in my installed base located, and even where are opportunities, as well as contacts and so forth. Of course, it is mobile, so we have the ability to use a location feature and even identify locations, sites, and equipment and opportunities that are nearby your location. You can see here I am in Northern Virginia today, and the different customer locations that are nearby. So to get started, I'm going to actually look into a customer location that I'm planning a visit to in the next couple of weeks. So first I'll go up to the search bar, and we're looking for Connects Communications in Laplace, Louisiana. So we can just type in Connects in Laplace, and there it is, the first one. So this brings up our Location 360 view, which has a lot of the same information that you're familiar with in the web version of Insights. So we have an overview. We can see details on equipment, opportunities, and a whole bunch of other aspects of that location. So looking at the overview, we can see that that location for Connects has 3 pieces of equipment. They've bought $7,400 worth of parts and service, so aftermarket recurring revenue over the last 5 years. And they have a really high propensity to buy, about 95%, and that's based on AI analysis of their transaction history. We can see a bunch of location details. We can see the service contracts that they have and the status of those. We can drill into any of these. We can see some quick and dirty analytics. What is their parts trend? What's their service revenue trend? What types of equipment they have. So in this case, the Aquamate. And how old is that equipment? In this case, 6 to 8 years, and 12 to 14 for 2 of the pieces. We can see what are the last transactions that Connects in Laplace has made. And we can also see the opportunities. So if we're getting ready to visit them and we want to know what are the different types of things that we might want to bring up and or might have been brought up in the past, and what's the current stage of those, what are they worth, we have all of that at our fingertips. And then if we wanted to call Connect, so perhaps we weren't actually visiting, but we just got an email about reaching out to Connects, and we're sitting at your kid's softball game, you can easily pull this up, see the opportunities, see who the contacts are, and even click right here to make the call using the click to call feature. So many of you are probably also familiar with our new accounts feature. And so the mobile app has the exact same feature. So you can see up at the top, it says Connects Communication in blue. So you just click on that. And now it's going to take us up to the account view. So we can see that there are 14 locations for Connects. They have $109,000 in opportunities open currently. They've had $76,000 in recurring revenue over the last 5 years. And then we can see some analytics at the account level. So account revenue trend, which locations have had the most revenue. So we can see, in the past, it was the Deer Park location in 17 and 18 that had the most. And then in 19, it became the Linden location. And you can go from there. You can also see same kind of summary details, equipment, opportunities, and then a whole bunch of other aspects related to that account.
All right. I'm going to hand it over to Tom, my friend. Take it over.
All right. Thank you, Sushana. So a lot of our customers have both a CRM, whether that's Microsoft Dynamics or Salesforce, along with Entytle, and they have unique workflows between utilizing Salesforce or Dynamics and Entytle, and how these two systems really work together. So one of the requests that we've been receiving is to create integrations between both of these systems so that you can really create the workflows customized to how your organization wants to leverage different leads that are created, synchronizations between these systems. So you have the ability to see the account and location install base information, and really have both of these systems talk to one another. So we've created a couple different options to support these types of integrations, either through iPaaS or open APIs. And then the ability to consume the insights information within these CRMs, whether that's through the iframe or through widgets, with really the goal to support a variety of different use cases that are scalable for your organization, such as again, having that information inside of your CRM, having opportunities or leads in sync between these systems, as well as having that install base information in sync across accounts, contacts, assets, whatever information that is. So I'm going to pop out here and just show a quick demo of what this integration looks like inside of Salesforce. So let me share my screen here. So this is Entytle Insights web tab integrated inside of Salesforce. So if I'm a sales rep and I'm working inside Salesforce, but I want to be able to access all of the install base capabilities and historical details inside of Entytle, I don't have to navigate between separate systems to be able to access that sort of information. I can have it all right here inside of my CRM. And then as I'm working leads, I don't have to go back and forth between Salesforce and Entytle to track my opportunities, maybe find contact information. I have all this information right in one place. So if I go to, for example, a predicted parts opportunity here, I can see that this is actually tied to Salesforce. So as I make or update this opportunity, those updates are also going to be made inside of my CRM, and vice versa. So I can actually go to my account here inside of Salesforce, go to the same Connects Communications account, and I can see that I have those same opportunities that I'm seeing in Entytle right here inside of Salesforce. And again, if I make updates to these opportunities inside Salesforce now, those will tie back to Entytle. So it allows me really to make my workflows more efficient and customize those to maybe how you're utilizing your CRM, and create that inside of Entytle and have these systems talking back and forth together as well. Inside of here, I also have the Entytle widgets here. So these are customizable depending on what sort of information you'd want to bring into your CRM. So if I want to be able to access the same level of details that I'm seeing in Entytle right here inside of my account view, I can see here that there's a number of different widgets and information and analytics that I can bring in right into my CRM and have this information inside of here, as well as displayed inside of Entytle. So now I can view that easily and accessibly in both places. So let me pause there and I'll stop sharing and hand it back to you, Rob.
Great, thanks, Tom. So in addition to, new things that we've rolled out from a product perspective and from an integration perspective, mobile, and even kind of back end scalability improvements that you don't readily notice. We've also had a lot of discussions with many of you in terms of, hey, Entyle has this expertise and these capabilities specifically around data for equipment manufacturers. Can we leverage that expertise and those tools on other challenges, right? Or things that are slightly outside of just delivering the insights application. And so over the past few quarters, we've started doing some different types of services work for some of our clients, leveraging the technology that we've built and the expertise that we've built across dozens and dozens of different manufacturers. And so these services are really kind of focused on data quality, data analysis, data science, and some managed services around those. And the types of challenges and use cases that we've been addressing are really focused on things for manufacturers that are connected with their install base. So it could be looking at different elements of aftermarket, could be looking at different elements of product and parts data, could be looking at customer data, looking at IoT or life cycle data regarding a product or a customer, and even looking at channel partner data. And so if we go to the next. So a couple examples of this. So one example recently has been working with an equipment manufacturer on their parts numbering and their parts data quality. And so this manufacturer wanted to better implement a global parts pricing strategy. However, after digging in, they found that they had really messy parts data. They had in-house and vendor parts that were not categorized correctly. They had different ERPs in different regions, which had different numbering schemas. The formats of the part numbers and descriptions was not standardized. There were variations in numbering. There were variations in how the data was captured by both procurement and in terms of sales transactions. And then lots of data quality challenges, whether it be missing data, incomplete data, the whole, everything you would expect, right? And so what we have done for this customer is leverage the Entytle artificial intelligence and our data quality engine, as well as the expertise that we've built around this to help address and clean up all of this parts data, right? And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of part numbers. And so the first piece was consolidating variations of the vendor names. Then we were able to leverage some technology to mine other sources and fields for part number data. Of course, all that had to be standardized. And then it was matching and clustering these different potential parts based on numbers and descriptions. And so the value, right, was really getting to a much higher quality set of part numbers. So we were able to actually determine the OEM part number for 27% more parts than they had before. We were able to identify as duplicate parts, so essentially the same part, but represented in their systems in multiple different ways. 23% of the parts fell into that category. And so the overall impact, right, is having a much cleaner set of data that enables this global parts pricing strategy to be implemented. So that has an immediate revenue impact of being able to actually, get the price that you had planned for. And then as well, enabling that data to go back into the ERP systems such that purchasing can actually get the price that they had negotiated with the supplier, no matter where it's being purchased or whether it was, purchased using the correct part number or not. If we go to the next page, a slightly different example, we have another customer who wanted to re-engage some of their inactive customers and found that the account and contact data was really rough. So they wanted to be able to drive sales and digital marketing focus with these. However, didn't have the right account data, didn't have the right contact data, didn't know if it was the right people who were still in the roles. Data was inconsistent, incomplete, not validated, stale and old, and often hidden behind channel partners. They might have gotten a ship to address, but the account name might have been the channel partner who sold it. And then they had no real internal resources to address this. And so we were able to leverage some of our technology as well as some of our team to validate the actual entity, the account, based on its ship to address, using some different tools to identify who are the right personas at each one of these accounts now that would be the right person for them to contact. And then, able to gather their contact information, and even in a lot of scenarios, being able to validate that either via email or phone. And so the results of this, we're able to identify 1.5 on average good contacts that were the right role for each of those different customer locations. Able to get a valid email or phone number or both for 80%, and then able to actually positively validate that contact a quarter of the time. We also discovered about 13% more end users that were previously hidden behind the channel partner. So they had the account listed as the channel partner instead of the actual end user of the equipment. And so all of this then enables that sales and digital marketing outreach in an efficient manner to those inactive customers for both aftermarket and new equipment sales. So, those are two kind of deeper dives. We've been doing kind of different types of services really focused on install base and manufacturing data in a few other areas as well. So helping customers with complex campaigns that require either data analysis or data science to figure out who the right people are, looking at things like quote to order conversion ratio rates, looking at, hey, what are the likely kits based on transactional data, looking at account analysis. So for one customer, we implemented a custom behavior-based segmentation of their accounts, leveraging all the data that was in Insights, but also leveraging our data science expertise and then making that live within Insights. For many customers, we've looked at different types of either calculated or implied wallet share based on consumption patterns relative to the equipment that they own. Sushana talked about Customer Loyalty Manager earlier. We've gone down the path of customizing and configuring that for specific situations based on the transactions that are most relevant for that business. We've also looked at helping organizations understand broader enterprise, whether that be trends, looking at the install base compared with the service network. So mapping where is the equipment versus where is our service network. Looking at channel partner performance. And then, of course, data quality. So data quality dashboards, which I know our customer success team has been talking with many of you about, as well as some more specific things like data comparisons of this file versus the last file received, and are there any major discrepancies there? So I encourage if you have specific, especially install-based data, manufacturing data, data quality challenges, data analysis challenges, data science challenges, right? Reach out to your customer success manager, and we might be able to help you in those directions. Okay, I'm going to pass it back over to Sushana. So we've talked about everything that we have recently been bringing to our customers, both in terms of products, infrastructure, integrations, and services. And now she's going to talk about where are we going next? What's coming next that you've been asking for, as well as some other, kind of big picture things that we're working on.
Thank you, Rob. Right, so like you said, exciting developments coming your way. We're sure excited to bring them your way. So in terms of clean quality install base data, for industrial OEMs today, cleansing, unifying your install base data is important. It's important to increase the customer's lifetime value of an equipment. And we're now on a journey where we're working to expose the pieces of our data quality engine into the hands of clients like yourselves. It's something that we're looking forward to do. We want to be able to share more details around those in the coming weeks and months. In terms of things that we're working towards, we want to bring you account level contacts today. It's a step towards diminishing the replication that is present for contacts at each and every location level. Besides that, we're looking at exploratory initiatives towards bringing advanced bill of material support for you. In terms of powerful analytics, the Entytle is providing a mechanism to create pipelines that can be tailored to clients' needs by storing data like the replacement rates of how frequently a part is ordered by a customer. It helps the clients to modify and store the value directly in a Entytle database. It's our way of giving more control to the OEMs for creating targeted recommendations. In terms of advanced dashboards, some of which Rob already mentioned, we want to be able to bring to you trends about your install base, probably around product lines, territories, to give you a more holistic view of what's happening in the install base on a continuous basis. In terms of our ever-evolving user experience, we strive to make it more simpler, configurable to you. We're bringing to you a lot of capabilities around the ability to save your opportunity filters. For example, I spoke during the demo about how your custom fields can now be used to filter your install base data in your opportunity list. All you could do is save your filters tailored to what you want to see and quickly get access to each of them. We want to bring in configurations and ability to create custom columns and utilize those in service contracts, orders, pipelines, services, etc. Some of the things that we're testing and validating with our customers, one of the biggest things is service contract 360. Like we introduced the contact 360, we want to bring to you a whole new 360 view for service contracts with all the relevant data right where you need them. We're going deeper and deeper into getting validations for the installed IB health check as well as customer portals. Speaking of integrations, making high quality install base data available to our users in multiple ways has always been important to us. We've already done that by making it available to you via open APIs, via the mobile app itself. And now we want to go ahead and make it available to you as part of your daily communication systems. For example, your Teams application. A lot of our customers use this application today, and we will be making the install base data available to you inside your Teams environment so that you could build communications with your teams around that data. In terms of what we're looking at for future integrations with CRMs, Entytle is working on a path to make data available to customers whenever and wherever they want. We're developing more and more APIs that can be exposed to customers in the longer run. We're leveraging the Entytle's capability of integrating the data in real time with CRMs like Salesforce, Dynamics. How are we doing this? We're exposing our open APIs with capabilities that are available to push data for opportunities, account, location, assets. Coming to you very soon in terms of scalability and how we can automate things and workflows for you. You will see that very soon you're able to create very large pipelines in a matter of clicks, be able to download larger install base data in a matter of clicks. You could then manipulate those to work into your workflows further on. And as always, we will continue to invest in scalability and automation initiatives. We've revamped our architecture and we continue to work towards bringing to you massive scalability there. Let me give you a quick deep dive of two of our exploratory initiatives that we're looking to get feedback for. The IB health check prototype is something that we're validating with some of our customers. It's the IB health check for OEMs is an application we're bringing for developing, managing, conducting inspections of large install bases at scale to be able to provide better visibility, reliability, and connectivity to customers and commissioned equipment. With the IB health check, we want to be able to offer benefits to OEMs. They can configure inspections, assessments, they can leverage the installed base data, which is contextual, coming from Entytle. You could connect with CRMs. You will be able to manage and develop the equipment inspections in a digital first manner. When it comes to the customer portal, look at it from this perspective. You being the OEM, you know that X location has X number of equipments. If you want your customers to view that information and your desirable list of associated details of that equipment list, Entytle has the ability to help you expose that kind of information in a tailored fashion to your customers via the customer portal. What you see on the left-hand side would be what you see. If you choose to expose a part of that to your customers behind a secure login, you can do that with the customer portal that we want to offer. Other use cases could be looking at documentation, which is contextual, be able to integrate with support systems that you have already in place and give them a single view of things via a single pane of glass. Give them access to equipment data, maybe even allow them to update details around that equipment data. Be able to look at recommendations of parts, services, be able to request for renewals for warranties, service contracts that are expiring soon, etc. So before we get into the other part of the presentation here, we're always looking for inputs from our customers. So we want to understand what's important to you from what we've just shown about what's coming in the future. DJ, could you please start the poll? You would be seeing a poll on your screen. Feel free to choose what's most important to you. It's multiple choice. Select more than one if you think that's important to you. And I'm going to pause for a couple seconds while you all can do that.
The poll is now running, Sushana.
Thank you, DJ. Let me know, DJ, if you're ready with results.
Yeah, the results are still pouring in. I'll just give it another 5 to 10 seconds.
All right.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll.
Okay, let's see how our results look. That's wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for giving in your responses. So this is what the priorities look like for the audience here today. It's wonderful. So what we could do is, if there's something that you want to get involved with, you think it's important to you and you want to start a conversation around it, I urge you to please reach out to your customer success managers and we can proceed with conversations there to understand what are the use cases that are important to you and so on. All right, thank you, DJ, there. And thank you, everybody, for giving in your responses. All right, I'm going to pass the baton back on to Tom here. Over to you, Tom.
All right, thanks, Sushana. If you don't mind flipping to the next slide. So a lot of our customers, when implementing Entyle, have really a couple of ideas around how they want to leverage their install base data to drive different use cases. But as those become successful, they come to us asking, what are different ways your other customers are utilizing Entyle? What different ways can we leverage Entyle to drive a variety of use cases? And the other question that we get asked is, what kind of structure do we need to put in place to be able to support these use cases? How can we support this from a change management perspective? What type of resources do you have to really enable our sales team? So what we've done is put together really an open source for industrial manufacturers and an associated playbook to really capture both of these elements. So we've worked to build out different use cases and case studies that we can provide to really help inspire ideas of how you can leverage Entyle, and then really the resources to help you operationalize this within your organization and really build that capability and enable your team. So Sushana, if you can flip to the next slide. So we've put together over 30 different use cases with the help of our CSM team and existing customers, and they cover things across install base visibility, parts predictions, services, marketing, inside sales. And what we've done is compiled these to really help give ideas of how Entyle can be leveraged and how people have used it historically, really to help you drive use cases in your organization. So Sushana, if you flip to the next slide, for each one of these use cases that we've created documentation to really help get these use cases going with your organization. So first and foremost, there's a topic. So what exactly is the use case that was created? And then the objective. Different use cases have different objectives and outcomes they're looking to achieve. So we've created the objective for the use case. And then the impacts and outcomes, oftentimes they're monetary, but sometimes different outcomes or objectives are trying to be targeted for these use cases. So we've captured those, and then also built out how you can replicate this within your organization. So who are the different roles that were involved to be able to make this successful? What were the tactics for being able to really roll out and implement this use case so that you can leverage ideas that have been created and implemented in the past? And then as we've done these, either learnings that we've had or that have been noted by the customer. So as you roll these out, you can take in the learnings from other customers who have done this before you. And then Sushana, if you can flip to the next slide. So the second half of really the use case is about building the different structure within your organization to ensure success as you roll out both Entyle and the use cases as well. So we've put together really the 4 building blocks of change management that we found to be the best practices to make Entyle successful within your organization. And for each one of these elements, we have supporting material that you can leverage to ensure as you're operationalize these, you can leverage the best practices that we've created. So Sushana, if you flip to the next slide. Sushana, can you go to the next one? I'm still seeing the same slide here. Here we go. Did we lose someone? One moment.
Tom, I can
I
share
got
mine.
it. There was a glitch at my end. I'm just sharing screen again. Got it.
All right, thank you. So an example here of building capability, and one of the resources is here, one of the call scripts. So we've created, again, resources to support each one of those elements. So how you can create the change management with your organization, how you develop your workflows, and really how you enable your team and track performance. So this is an example of a call script that would really help your inside sales team really take in the calls and then utilize the Entyle information to offer different parts and services. So there's a ton of different resources that can really help enable your team as you look to build that capability to really be successful with the use cases leveraging Entyle. And then you can flip to the next slide. So this is something that we are continuing to build on and iterate as we add in more product enhancements, as we create additional use cases. We're constantly updating the customer playbook to be able to provide you more and more use cases. But one of the things that we'd also be looking for is contributions from the folks who are already utilizing Entyle. So if you have a really good use case and play that you've built out, you can go to the link via this QR code and submit your use case, and we can either anonymize these or give you credit for the different use cases. And then we'll be adding those to the customer playbook so that others who utilize Entyle have access to these resources, and you have access to those resources as well. If you are interested in leveraging the customer playbook, you can reach out to your customer success manager, and they'll be happy to provide that to you and walk through those resources with you. So with that, I'll pass back over to Rob. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. So kind of to wrap up here, and I would encourage everyone, if you have questions, use the Q&A feature in Zoom. You can also, of course, follow up, with your customer success manager or with any of us after the session. But to summarize, we've been busy. We've made a lot of improvements to the Entyle install base platform. Have been bringing new analytics such as customer loyalty manager. We've been, gathering all the feedback from you. Some of it very, very tactical of, hey, I want, these additional filters on pipelines or on opportunities or on accounts. I want to understand, I want to be able to track opportunities better. I want to be able to attach quotes to an opportunity, have that attachment there. So we continue to take your feedback and deliver features to make your life easier, to allow you to get more out of using insights. Of course, the mobile app, which has been live now for a couple quarters, we're seeing a lot more users on that. We'd love to continue to gather your feedback on what else would you like to see there. Over the last 2 quarters, we've really taken what we have from an API perspective and really strengthened that and expanded the scope of what's possible in terms of connecting with Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics, different BI tools, and so forth. And then, we talked about services. So, many of you have said, hey, you've worked on our data, our data, you have the expertise on install base data, on manufacturing data. Can you help us with this other data challenge, right? Can you apply the tool set that you've built to other areas? And so we've expanded into that area as well to continue to add value for our customers. In terms of looking forward, we're continuing to, not picture here is drive the infrastructure that enables scalability, right? So we've passed having over 100 million records for a single customer over the past couple quarters, and we anticipate driving that scalability up even more. We are going to continue to invest in making that high quality install base data and the insights from it and the leads generated from it and the opportunities available in the different workflow applications that your teams are using. So continuing to build out those integrations and the capabilities with Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics. Also, those are available for other systems as well. And then, looking at Teams, right? It's a collaboration tool. How do we enable that to be even more collaborative and more valuable for your different organizations? We've got, different kind of big picture things that we're continuing to explore. So we talked about the health check of enabling those assessments and inspections of your equipment, enabling them to leverage the contextual install-based data that's available within Entytle. Talking about the customer portal, right? So enabling the right data from your install base to be shared back with your customer to strengthen that relationship. And then, Tom kind of wrapped up talking about the install base playbook. How do we take all the best practices and learnings across dozens of different manufacturers and make that even more powerful for everybody moving forward? So let's see here. Maybe I'll pause for a second. Any questions?
Yeah, we have a few questions that rolled in, and guys, if you have any other questions and you want to ask, that Q&A chat button is at the bottom. But Rob, since you just brought it up, I'll ask this one first. What is the Microsoft Teams integration going to look like?
Sure. Sushana, do you want to touch on that?
Absolutely, sure. So we're still framing that up right now, so we'd love to talk to you some more. Do reach out to your customer success manager. We can set up a conversation to understand what it looks like to you and how we can proceed from there.
Yeah, I think one of our big objectives in these types of events, right, is to share what we're working on before it's fully formed, right, such that we can make sure we get the right customer input into that, such that what we develop is something that's going to be value add.
Great. A few more questions. What does open source playbook mean?
Yeah, I can take this. So I think, we've been building this playbook over the past year in terms of use cases and best practices, both on a strategic as well as an execution perspective. And so we're gonna make it available. We've already been making it available for our customers. We're going to make it available more broadly, and then also try and solicit input from our customers as well as others out there who are focused on install base.
Great. Is anyone using our sales as a service offering yet, or is it still in the works?
Yes, we do have some initial customers that are using that and having a lot of success with it. So the results that I popped up during that little case study in terms of identifying more contacts, being able to find email and phone contact information for them, determining who is in the target role at that time, and then being able to validate all of that and the actual results in terms of contacts validated, and I didn't even put a result on there, but we have had, actually new contacts at inactive customers say, great, I'm glad you reached out. I actually would love if somebody could give me a call and talk about some of the things that we need.
Great. Two more questions I see. First one, when are health check and customer portal available to users? Will we be able to customize this to our specific install base?
Sushana, you want to take that one?
Yep, I'll take that one. So like I mentioned, we're still validating and testing our prototypes, still not fully functional. So we'd love to talk to you to understand what kind of customizations you're looking for. What are the use cases that would make most sense to you? So feel free to reach out so that we can have a conversation going and understand how we can deliver what you need.
Great, thanks, Sushana. And then last question I see here, I'm assuming this is asking for the looking forward. portion on the screen, but is there any cost on any of these additional add-ons?
So I could take this. We continue to add features and functionality to Insights. And of course, that's part of the SaaS model. You get not just, a license to a static piece of software, but rather a living, ever evolving platform. And so those updates and improvements continue to get included. As we start to look beyond that application, start to look at other use cases, many of those probably would have incremental costs, and that's such that we can have the resources to develop those and to keep the cost of the core application where it is, and not layer that cost in there.
Great, thanks for that, Rob. I don't see any other questions, so I'll hand it back over to you to wrap us up.
Okay, so I guess last couple things on takeaways. I would definitely encourage, if there's anything that came up today that is interesting to you, that either we've already developed and you say, hey, why isn't my organization using that? Reach out to your customer success manager. A lot of these things are toggleable, and so we try and work with each of our customers in terms of when to turn on these new features such that the change can be managed appropriately. But reach out to your customer success manager. They can work with you on how to work through that. Also, if there are data challenges specifically that you're facing, whether it's poor quality data, unstructured data, data analysis, also reach out to your customer success manager. We have been having a lot of conversations with customers around different challenges related to their data and how we might be able to help use our technology and expertise to solve that. And then, of course, any of the more forward-looking things that we've talked about today that you want to be involved in, that you have ideas on the use cases and what types of things should it be able to do, and it's something that's really important to your organization. Once again, reach out, talk to us. We'd love to get you engaged in any of those efforts. A few other things I would call attention to. We've got several different events coming up throughout the fall. We'll be doing some kind of lessons learned type of events in September. We'll be doing some power user events throughout the fall. And then, of course, the Industry Next community that has been built over the past couple of years now. We'll be doing an event probably in October around dealing with the different macroeconomic forces that are going on right now. And so bringing in some experts on pricing, on people and recruiting, on kind of the different things that we see as challenges beyond just Entyle, right? So the broader set of challenges. I think that the last thing for me is, thank you. We definitely appreciate everybody joining today and appreciate your support. And definitely reach out to us if you have any further questions or want to talk about anything here in more detail.
Great. Well, again, to reiterate, thank you everyone for joining, and we will send out this recording afterwards. And like Rob said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your customer success manager or info@entytle.com, and we'll set up some time to work with you. Have a great day.
Thank you.